Well, for the first time in many weeks, Dalton trustees and Mayor Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting together, but not at Village Hall.
South suburban politician Tiffany Henyard appears to have lost control of both.
With Mayor Tiffany Henyard at the center of the storm, things are getting hotter in Dalton, Illinois. You won't believe the drama that transpired at the most recent Village trustee meeting. Imagine this, a public. It was quite the show, to say the least, to see the official wearing a solid gold blazer while begging for precisely $619. Yes, you heard that right, and the manner she handled it.
We will continue to speak out against wrongdoing.
Why won't you step up?
Let's get the scene established. Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who has been in the news for her controversial decisions in Dalton, arrived at a recent meeting with one thing on her mind. She wanted to get her mind back. But why was she so desperate for exactly $619? Village gathering in a gold blazer? The blazer was just the beginning. But if you didn't know any better, you would assume she was going to a red carpet event rather than a trustee meeting. What transpired was even more incredible. Tiffany arrived without a major plan to address the village's fiscal crisis or an agenda about Dalton's finances. Instead, she brought a personal vendetta that was receiving $619 back from reliable, the Tammy Brown. Indeed, you heard correctly. She was pleading for $619 in public, virtually yelling, "I want my money back," and making it obvious that she wouldn't be going without it. Observing a restaurant bill dispute in a formal government environment where everyone was talking about more than just the begging, Tiffany arrived with receipts, claiming that the $619 was supposed to come from a fund for trustee training with a $10,000 budget. Since no one had seen it, Tiffany wanted her share, arguing that $619 was insignificant in comparison to the tens of thousands she claimed others were spending. This led to a full-on confrontation with Tiffany, who demanded to know why her $619 hadn't been turned over yet.
A big announcement that she claims will result in some of her opponents being arrested.
Things become much more juicy at this point. In addition to requesting her $619, Tiffany called out the village's financial state, accusing the trustees of wasting thousands on pointless expenses while ignoring vital services. According to Tiffany, village employees have been left idle for months without any work to do because their internet, and the trustees were still paying enormous fees to an IT provider after email access was cut off. Tiffany was not amused and referred to an invoice from the trustees' lawyer that totaled an enormous $36,500, comparing it to her meager $619. In her opinion, the math didn't add up, but it didn't end there. Additionally, Tiffany blasted the village's extravagant event spending, saying that while fundamental services were being cut, she specifically criticized the recent Valentine's Day event, claiming that it cost thousands of dollars in overtime for police officers to be pulled from their regular duties to serve as her personal security detail. "We can't afford this, and yet they're throwing parties while the rest of us are trying to keep the village afloat," she said, referring to the trustees' extravagant parties and unnecessary luxury spending.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent.
Moreover, talking about the cops, Tiffany wasn't finished criticizing the trustees. She also claimed that they had officers follow and harass their political rivals on behalf of their own personal agendas. The former police chief even acknowledged that she had been told to target particular people. In response to the trustees' request, she called an egregious abuse of authority. "This isn't what the police are for," she said, shaking her head. "They're supposed to protect and serve the community, not be puppets for the trustees." Tiffany, however, wasn't content with the accusations. She made it clear that she had plans to clean up what she called the mess in Dalton. She said she planned to bring in outside auditors to conduct a thorough look. To find any financial mismanagement, we must be transparent about the village's finances. She boldly stated that she would make sure that everyone accountable was held accountable after she had uncovered Dalton's financial problems. Her opponents were undoubtedly shaken by this declaration.
Tiffany will allow me to come over. Now it's time.
Additionally, Tiffany went so far as to accuse the trustees of appointing her own lawyer as the village's official lawyer. Yes, you read correctly. She stated unequivocally that her own lawyer had somehow succeeded in obtaining a position as the village's official counsel, creating. Let's get back to the $619. Everything seemed even more suspect. It was like a soap opera, except instead of secret love affairs, we were dealing with covert legal hires. Tiffany was determined not to let it go, and she kept repeating the number as though it were her own mantra. As she continued to bring it up, you would believe that the entire village budget situation was based on that $619. She asked that I return my $619, and throughout the entire time, she walked around in her solid gold blazer as if it were nothing out of the ordinary.
Meeting because business has not gotten done at 2 previous meetings, so that's some progress there, but this meeting was not without its.
It felt like a scene from a reality TV show when competitors voted each other off the island, but this wasn't a game, and the stakes were much higher. At one point, Tiffany even moved to remove Tammy Brown from the warrant list only because of the $619. Not only was Tiffany making waves influencing Dalton residents, but she also made it very clear that she wanted the money and wasn't going to back down until she got it. We're participating in the activity as well. One fan comment nicely captured it. Sue, please let me correct this. Although it's a difficult perspective, it appears that some people are finding Tiffany's accusations against the village's management to be quite compelling. Another reason they cut labor and send people home is because employees are sitting around the clock doing nothing.
To see her tenant in person after she says Henyard has been dodging both her and rent payments.
The irony of Tiffany crying over $619 when there are rumors that she spent almost $500,000 on her mother's driveway was brought up by another fan. The comment read, "Yikes, if that's true, it definitely puts her $619 plea into perspective." But let's not forget that this isn't the first time Tiffany has found herself in hot water. In fact, her entire tenure as mayor has been rife with controversy, ranging from claims of abusing public funds to tales of lavish party and event expenditures. Tiffany's name has been in the news for all the wrong reasons. And now, believe it or not, there are rumors that she may be facing eviction from her house. According to reports, the mayor of Dalton, who supposedly earns over $300,000 annually, is being evicted for failing to pay rent. Her landlord, Janetta Hall, has been telling anybody who will listen that Tiffany and her boyfriend haven't paid rent since August, and she's had enough.
She came to this Thornton Township meeting Tuesday night hoping to get paid.
Tiffany and her boyfriend Kamal Woods reportedly owe more than $5,000 in back rent. And to make matters worse, they have even changed the locks on the house to prevent the landlord from entering. It seems like something from a horrible movie. Hull claims that she has been attempting to serve eviction papers, but Tiffany and KL have been evading them. The entire scenario is chaotic and is only adding to Tiffany's already long list of problems. But this is where things get even stranger. In addition to facing eviction, Tiffany is now the subject of a federal investigation. According to reports, the FBI is investigating her spending patterns while she was mayor of Dalton and supervisor of Thornton Township. She is accused of using village funds for personal expenses, such as lavish travel and pricey meals, not to mention the infamous $43,000 she allegedly spent on Amazon in a single day. What in the world could she have been purchasing if it was a power and money grab? All of this has sparked a growing movement to remove Tiffany from office. It must hurt that locals are tired of her leadership and that some even call her the worst mayor in America. But Tiffany isn't giving up despite all the drama. In fact, she has declared that she is running for re-election. Can you believe it? She is facing eviction, a federal investigation, and a financial crisis in the village, but she is still prepared to fight for another term. That's the thing about Tiffany, though. Whether you like her or not, you have to admit that she isn't going down without a fight, even as her detractors call her out on everything, including how she manages village meetings and how much she spends. Tiffany has vowed to bring charges against her political rivals and has remained stubborn, saying she will spill the beans on all the corruption she says is occurring in Dalton. It is unclear if she has any concrete proof to support these assertions. Dalton will undoubtedly have an exciting ride in the upcoming months, though.
I'm at wit's end, and I fear that I'm going to go into foreclosure soon.
What comes next for Tiffany? Will she be able to maintain her role as mayor, or will the mounting chorus of detractors ultimately depose her? Additionally, will she ever get the $619 that she was given by Tammy Brown? This narrative is far from done, but only time will tell. In the meantime, we would want to hear from you. Is Tiffany simply attempting to perform her job and receiving unfair criticism, or is there anything more sinister going on behind the scenes? If so, what's the matter? $619. Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Remember to like and subscribe and tell your friends about this video. Stay tuned for more updates on the crazy world of Dalton politics.